Hey, heathens. I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher tonight, and he proposed a question. Due to a new study that just came out, the United States now has the highest teen pregnancy rate in the world. Bill asked a very simple question: why? It took me about 0.43 seconds to figure out exactly what I thought the reason would have been. Yet there was a very long moment of silence amongst the panel as they all tried to figure it out. They were all dumbfounded by this. And then Bill presented the answer that he had already kind of figured out himself. This was the point of bringing it up, and he wanted to see if anybody else would say it, and no one did. So then he proposed it, and of course the entire panel all, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. What is that answer? Abstinence only training. Now my specific answer to this whole thing was just simply those crazy Christians. But his was, it talked about the idea that, this push of having abstinence only training out there and pulling back from sex education. I remember going through school, and I remember having sex ed. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't make me want to go have sex any more than I already did. Let's face a few facts about the changes that have happened in society. Number one, in the past couple of generations, people are marrying later and later. Okay? My grandparents were both married in their teens. My parents were married in their teens. Okay? People used to get married at 14 and 15 years old all the time. Now the idea of a 14-year-old getting married is ridiculous to us. And I would agree. It was ridiculous back then too. It was just that was their solution to it. They're going to have sex, so let's get them married so that they'll be married and they won't be having bastard children. Reality is, when those hormones kick in, and you have no control of when they do, but when the hormones kick in, they're going to have sexual urges. It's going to happen. And you just have to have the talk. Okay? People don't want to have the talk. They want to just tell them, don't do it. Like that's ever worked ever. Okay? But here you go. Reap your rewards. Mainstream Christian fundamentalists who just absolutely feel like you have to control everything. Reap your rewards. Sarah Palin was even mentioned in the show, and I think she is absolutely the poster child for this, because as much of the stereotype as she fits, there she is with her single mom daughter, and I mean nothing bad to Bristol. I mean, whatever, deal with your own problems. I got mine. You have yours. But there she is, and even she doesn't wake up from the fog to realize that this is a bad idea. Abstinence only training doesn't work. And the only thing that does is the same thing as working in all the other countries that are now beating us in yet another category. You got to teach sex ed. You need to teach and make available how to use a condom. You need to teach and make available how to use birth control. This will fix the problem. Oh no, but if you give them a condom, they'll want to have sex. They already want to have sex. They're teenagers. Don't you remember being a teenager? Didn't you want to have sex? Was it because you saw it on the internet? Was it because someone gave you a condom? No, it was because hormones were kicking, and that's what you wanted to do. So, let's have a little bit of sense about this, people, and let's make some changes. Let's make a change now. Have the talk with your own children. And if you think that your children aren't old enough to know, you're wrong. And I don't care how old they are. They could be 1. They're old enough to know. Now, are they old enough to understand? Different situation. You need to figure that out from your child. Here's the basic rule of thumb I have always used. If they are old enough to ask, it's time to talk. Okay? When your child starts asking questions, you need to have the talk. So, but anyway, that's for you guys to figure out. Parent your kids however you feel like, but just keep your crazy ones away from mine. But my thought for the evening: don't take my word for it. Think for yourself.